Welcome back to Empire of the Sun, and we are now going to play the first we're going to go through some housekeeping before we start the Japanese card play, or Japanese turn here at turn 3. Okay, so we have to do a few final um, housekeeping issues, and I think I talked about them in my previous video. So I put down my reinforcements and I moved them. And I also took my replacement, which is up here. I have one naval replacement that I'm entitled to. And what I did was I went ahead and took it in up here. The Yamato has become a full strength unit. Then finally, I rolled for strategic warfare to see if the Allied subs have, or the US subs have created enough damage to cause the Japanese to lose one card in this turn. And in order to do that, you roll a 1d10 and you have to roll the turn number or less. So in this case, 3 or less, plus the Allies suffer a +1 DRM because die roll modifier because faulty torpedoes. It only works in 1942, 1943, 44, 45. It's just a straight die roll, and you have to roll the turn number or less. In this case, he has to roll. Normally, you can roll 3 or less, and he would get subs, do a hit. But now, because of DRM, he has to roll 2 or less, and he rolls a 6. So no sub effects. All right. So I drew 7 cards. So the 7 cards you are there, and then what I did was I played this card. This is the card I played for the first card. This is Operation KA Battle for the Eastern Solomons, and I used it to activate this guy here, the South Seas HQ, and that's 4+2. That's 6 activations. Okay, 6 activations, and I went ahead and activated the Shokaku and the Hiei, as well as all my heavy carriers, and these 2 air forces here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 6, these 2 Japanese aircraft here. And then I decided, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go after his carriers. I'm going to engage his carriers early because they're sitting here in Fiji. I'm just going to go after them and destroy them if I can. The reason that I'm thinking this would be a good time to do it because I have here there's a condition here in this card that says Allied Tactical Confusion, U.S. aircraft carrier naval units have their attack strength reduced by 2 for the duration of this offensive. So when he hits me back, he can't hit me back as hard because he can only, instead of having 12 strength, he only has 10 strength because of the card. Okay, so I think this is a good time as any, as good a time as any to hit back, to hit him, to hit his carriers, to engage his carriers, to destroy them. So I went and did that. Okay, the first thing I did was I moved these guys. Okay. And, okay. So you can see what I can do here is I move these guys here, offshore, to attack these guys here. I have the Shokaku, the Soryu, the Akagi with a range of 3. 1, 2, 3. Attacking these guys. Okay, what's interesting about this is now I have not broken this 2 hex air ZOI of the American carriers. And so when the Japanese die roll or the intelligence die roll does not, the Japanese don't, or the Allies don't get a -2 DRM. So he does here. There's an 80% chance he can see me because it's an EC7. Okay, he has to roll a 7 or less. It's not 9. Before, if you'd entered the Japanese zone of control or air zone of control, the Allies will only fail if he rolls a 9. Now he'll fail if he rolls an 8 or a 9. It's still pretty likely that you'll see me, but you know. 80% chance of success is better for me. It's still better than 90% chance of success. Okay, so for me anyway. So let's move this around, and I decided, oh, wait a minute. Okay, I've moved this fellow here. I just realized, oh, I made a mistake. Move this fellow here, and then move this fellow here. Why? The reason being is that um, the reason being is that um, the reason being is that I'm trying to attack this thing with full strength. Okay, remember that from here I get 3 range, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That means I can attack this with full strength. That's 20. If I'm lucky, I can destroy his 5th Air Force long-range bomber unit. If I'm lucky. Had I gone and attacking from Panapi and Kwajalein, I'd be on extended range. I want 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I would only be attacking at half strength. I'm also attacking for one very good reason. I'm trying to what I'm calling pinning this force up here. What does that mean? If I pin this force, that means this guy cannot come up and help defend here in Vini. Because what this guy could have done if I had not pinned him, he would have been able to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to Funafuti, and then from there lend his support to this fleet. You know, assuming he sees me to begin with, assuming he passes intelligence dialogue. All right, so that's where we are right now. This is the first card play of the third turn, and we're kind of going for the big battle. So there's a big battle here, smaller battle here, and hopefully hand it over to my opponent and for intelligence and reaction, and we'll see if he sees me, if he reacts, and what the combat will be, and what the results will be, and hopefully it'll be a big victory for the IJM. Thank you for listening.